I believe that if we are honest with ourselves, that the most fascinating problem in the world is who am I? What do you mean? What do you feel when you say the word I? I, myself.
I want to fly the train!
I don't give a fuck!
Oh, jeez. Hey, what's going on, bud?
You keep using the phone. It doesn't think of me as what you think it is.
Oh, jeez. Hey, what's going on?
I don't give a fuck!
Oh, jeez. Hey, what's going on, bud?
I think that I am familiar with the fact that you are going to ignore this particular problem until it swings up and bites you on the ass.
Psych, just kidding. My new catchphrase is, I don't give a fuck!
It's asking a lot to believe that the problem is going to fix itself.
Guess what, bitch?
Our technology and our numbers have both reached a state where inadvertently we can pose a danger to the global environment, especially through the atmosphere.
The whales have a 15-foot penis. Are you a pervert or something? Okay.
Now, nobody pretends we understand everything about the global climate.
I didn't cut out. You heard me. Google it yourself.
There are feedbacks, some of which you warm the Earth a little bit, and the tendency will be to further increase the temperature, so-called positive feedback.
What I'm saying is the planet's on fucking fire.
We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best of our energies and skills. Because that challenge is one that we're willing to accept, one we are unwilling to postpone, and one we intend to win.
I don't give a fuck!
What's up, heathens? Yeah, my mic's on. What's up, heathens? How y'all doing? I'm not used to my mic and shit being on and stuff, so it's a little awkward. Anyways, tonight we're gonna be taking a look at Bob Larson, a famous, well, maybe infamous exorcist who supposedly is giving us a warning about the demonic nature of the Marvel films, specifically the new Venom movie that's going to be coming out this summer. He really doesn't understand the Marvel universe in general, let alone the MCU or the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So he's got a lot of misconceptions about the movie itself and everything like that. So, I mean, we're going to be going through it today. If you guys will, please, let us know in the side chat what you think about exorcisms and shit. And if you guys want to fuck around and find out how Bob Larson is still hilarious as fuck, then please stay tuned. All right, heathens. Well, as I said, tonight we're going to be going through the exorcism shit. We also have some Today I Learns, and then not exactly comments, but it's been a conversation that I've had this entire day today, and it's rather frustrating for me. And anybody that's on Twitter would know exactly how frustrated I am by this. But we've already got people doing the Skeptic Mafia, or not Skeptic Mafia, but oh shoot. No, technical difficulties with GE. I just resolved the issue. So sorry, but Lisa for the Truth is definitely going to hell, right there with Satan and I guess Thor. That's probably Chris Helmsworth, to be honest. He's a demon, obviously. Lisa for Truth says, deserving my seat in hell, demoness in the house. Uhan Roderick says, drive by super chat. Hope everyone's staying awesome and staying sexy. Sexiness is a side effect of a vaccination. Just saying. That's right. Also, in Ohio, you can win like, what is it, $1 million? Yep. So there's.
Listen, donating this much money only secures your seat in hell.
So in Ohio, there are 5 $1 million prizes that you can win, but there's also 5 college scholarships that you can win as well if you get vaccinated. So if you're in Ohio, definitely get those vaccinations so that you could possibly become a millionaire. Quentin Van Booven says, just getting my weekly tithe in and making sure I get my seat in hell. I want front row, or I want front now. All right, you're going to hell there, Quentin, yet again this week. Going to hell. If you guys are wondering, with the super chats, we donate a portion of all revenue that we get from this channel, including super chats, Skeptic Mafia memberships, and any ad revenue we get. Portion of that is going to be going to a charity that we do every month. This month, it's the Recovering from Religion Foundation. If you're unaware of the Recovering from Religion Foundation, they provide a lot of great services to those who have either left religion, or maybe you're still in religion, but you still need some kind of help to talk to somebody, or you're having issues with something. They can definitely help you out there at the Recovering from Religion Foundation. Last month, they had a very special anniversary. What was it? Was it 15 years, 25 years? A lot. They've been around for a while. So we're going to be donating this month, and it kind of looks like, according to all the metrics that we've gotten this month, we're going to be able to donate the same amount that we were able to donate last month, and that was about $600. So we're going to be able to do that this month, and it's been an awesome month. I really appreciate all of you heathens out there making it possible. Sam Dean says, I think I saw Bob Larson give an exorcism to an Aussie guy named John Safran in...
Woo! That's KC's money.
Yeah, KC's money. She got $5. John Safran versus God, definitely worth a watch, mate. Pizza! We actually had pizza tonight. Take that, you filthy heathens, is what Hellbound Hillbilly says.
2 Timothy, what the fuck ever, shut the fuck up.
Jonathan Nichols says, I wonder if donating...
Maybe you should quit drinking all that beer, GE.
Jonathan Nichols says, I wonder if donating non-US currency will earn me a place in hell. It definitely will. Irish Bull subscribed. Thank you so much there, Irish Bull. I forgot that the subscribes were turned on in my notifications. But anyways, so yes, we're going to be going over the exorcism tonight. We're going to have a special TED Talk from Bro Cephas about exorcisms. He's going to explain the science behind exorcisms tonight. So in case you guys didn't know, there's some special science behind it. It may or may not include a cup with a special message on it. But before we get into that, do you guys know what we got first? Honey? Yeah. See if I can get it correctly there. Here we go. Hold on. Boom. Today I learned. Woo! that was a fancy one. All right, I'm about to burst all of y'all's bubbles on the Ghost Hunters, the Ghost Hunters Internationals. What's the other one that we like to do? The one with there's Tennessee Wraith Finders, Ghost Adventures with what's his name? Zach Shamalama Ding Dong? Whatever, I don't know. Anyways, Today I learned that many haunted houses have been investigated and found to contain high levels of carbon monoxide or other poisons, which can cause hallucinations. The carbon monoxide theory explains why haunted houses are mostly older houses, which are more likely to contain aging and defective appliances. So, booyah! Y'all shit is not bananas, it's weak and stuff. Zach Baggins! Zach Vagabonds! That's right, Zach Vagabonds. Elizabeth Richardson in the side chat there got it. Thank you. But yeah, it makes total sense for those things to be it. Also, intense electromagnetic fields, they can also mess with how you perceive things.
That's for the kegerator.
All right, Maynard Save says, if Anne Frank can deal with hell, I think I can too. It's a shame God didn't see all his chosen people going to hell. I know, right? It's weird. Of course, they didn't definitely go to hell until Jesus came through, so really God sent them to hell on purpose, if you want to think about it. Anyways, all right, well, that is it for the first Today I Learned, and the next one's kind of sad, a sad statistic. That veterinarians kill themselves at rates of 2.5 to 3.5 times the general population, due in part to online trolling and threats from pet owners who blame them for the death of a pet and easy access to lethal medicines. It is terrible. I mean, it's horrible to think that veterinarians get trolled and threatened online to the point that that they feel like they have to, take a permanent step in the process is just horrible. And I feel like anybody that harasses a veterinarian online should probably feel bad about themselves. I'm not going to sit here and harass a veterinarian. I mean, shit happens to dogs and
Bear
stuff.
money.
Thank you there, Eric Hamion, who says alternate hypothesis. The houses are filled with poison because they're haunted. Ooh, the houses are evil in trying to dispose of their occupants. Ooh, I wonder if a house in total is haunted, like that, like the very physical being of the house, I guess, and it secretes all of these things in there. Oh, we had another subscriber. I missed their name. Oh, Nevermore. Apparently, I saw it on the little delayed thing. Anyways. Thank you, Nevermore. But yeah, that could be an interesting one there, Eric. That could be it. Oh, the entire house is haunted, and so they secrete all those gases in there. They fart. Ghost farts are what is causing hallucinations. That's what it really is. And hey, you know what? Here in Huntsville, if you go on this ghost tour around Halloween time, right? They'll actually take you to a part of town where it's said that this ghost goes around and you smell this funky smell whenever he's near. And it's like, oh, okay, so the ghost farts in your face and then laughs at you, I guess? And that's the quality of the ghosts in Alabama. They fart in your face. God damn it, Alabama. Always so disappointing. Now, the next fact here is from our science, all right, and so it's been up there. It's been at least somewhat vetted, I guess. It's gonna rustle some feathers. I'm just gonna tell you right now, there might be some hate in the comments, but today I learned that adopting a plant-based diet can help shrink a person's carbon footprint. However, improving efficiency of livestock production will be a more effective strategy for reducing emissions, as advances in farming have made it possible to produce meat, eggs, and milk with a smaller methane footprint. So, yeah, vegans can't use this against us anymore, I guess. I'm not gonna say that adopting a wholly plant-based diet isn't good for you or anything like that. I'm very much of the opinion that eat what you want to eat as long as it's not another person or a pet. And I think that, this right here would be some good information to throw into the face of somebody that's like, well, climate change wouldn't be as bad if we all adopted a plant-based diet. It's like, no, motherfucker, we can do shit different. We can move some things around, and do things a little differently, and it'll be just fine. So anyways, that was just an interesting thing that I ran across right before coming on to the show, because I'm a professional and I prepared this stuff way in advance, obviously. Okay. That's going to be it for the Today I Learned tonight, but do have a sort of a special segment to go over next. We got Junie the Apostate, though, coming in with a super chat saying, see you all at the pool party of fire, heathens, and houses with demons have symbiotes.
Listen, donating this much money only secures your seat in hell.
You know, Junie, that's actually pretty accurate. They would be symbiotes. So, I mean, the symbiotes are... Venom is in the haunted houses, and Venom is killing the people. I got you. Fucking demon symbiotes. All right, so this next thing is going to be something that I've been arguing online all day today. Apparently it needs to be argued, because the author of the book that I'm going to be talking about just hands down refuses to acknowledge my criticisms of his book. This is Jesus Loves the Canaanites. It was written by Randall Rouser, and he's been throwing it around there saying, I wrote a 350-page book about this. Y'all need to read it before you start criticizing me and stuff. And so I got his book, and I started reading it, and I got to the very first introductory chapter where it lays out his entire book. He states his 5 principles that he's going to be working off of, and I had to read them out to KC over there just to make sure that I wasn't going crazy, or I wasn't misreading something or another. So this comprises his 5 principles that he bases his entire book on, and also the position that he sympathizes with and he argues for in the book. So here's number 1, the perfect God principle. The Bible is the product of a perfect God. So he presupposes that God is perfect and produced the Bible. That's one. He doesn't have any kind of evidence to actually support this particular assumption. So, or this principle. So right off the bat, he's just making a baseless assertion. And then 2, it gets fuckier as you go through his 5 principles that he builds his case from. Number 2 is 2 authors principle. Every biblical text has both a human author with human authorial meaning, that which we refer to as the literal sense, and a divine author, i.e. God, and the divine meaning, that which we refer to as the plenary sense. While these 2 senses may be identical, they may also differ, and to the extent that they do differ, the divine plenary sense is the controlling and authoritative sense of the passage, and the one by which the literal sense should be understood. So, if you don't understand what all of that means, basically, God, let me get it in frame here. God and man both wrote the Bible. I guess God wrote the Bible through man, but you get what I mean. Man wrote things down literally on the page, and they mean it in the very literal sense that you read it from. God, however, has a different plan, and honestly, I don't know how we know this plan, but obviously there is a message in there that's directly from God, and that's how the literal words on the page are meant to be understood. So you've got God's meaning and man's meaning, right? Sometimes they coincide, sometimes they don't. Generally, when they don't coincide, it's when it's some horrible shit. And we'll get into that here in a second of how he lays this out. Now, he says that I'm not steelmanning his position, but it really just seems like, here's what it literally says on the page, and here's the bullshit that I think that God means by the literal shit that's on the page. And so apparently that's not a steelmanned position of what he's saying. I kind of feel different about that. I feel like I'm pretty much representing what he's talking about here, just in not so nice terms. All right. Next, we have number 3, the canon principle. The entire biblical text should be interpreted as a unified whole, such that some individual texts within the entire canon should be interpreted in light of other texts which serve as interpretive control passages. One identifies which text should serve as control passages by way of a careful theological interpretation of the whole canon, its meaning and purpose. This is the cherry-picking principle. Basically, what he's saying here is that the entire Bible has to be interpreted with the New Testament as its, like, I guess, control module. And you have to selectively pick out in the control module which meanings and interpretations you should apply to the Old Testament, given these cherry-picked verses in the New Testament. So basically, if you find something that's horrible as fuck in the Old Testament, you just gotta go to the New Testament, find some kind of reasoning that makes the Old Testament A-okay, and then boom, that's how it works. You gotta cherry pick from the New Testament in order to explain the Old Testament. Next is the Jesus principle. This is where it starts to get even more fucky, okay? The Jesus principle. The primary controlled texts for interpreting all of Scripture include morally problematic violence, like the Canaanite conquest, are those that compromise the life and teachings of Jesus. So it's not even the entire New Testament now. We're just talking about the Gospels. The Gospels are what control the problematic texts of the Old Testament. I'm not exactly sure how. I haven't gotten that far into his book, but I'm sure I'll come back in with an update as to how he does this. But apparently, you have to think about the Old Testament with specifically Jesus, his works that are contained in the Gospels, in mind. And then finally, the most bullshit of them all is the love principle. We got Dave Lee who says that's a lot of words for the author saying because I said so. Exactly. And then 5, the love principle, which is the one that's been the most contentious all day.
Woo! That's for the kegerator.
The love principle. In light of the Jesus principle, all texts should be interpreted in such a way that they increase the love of God and neighbor. Consequently, any reading of a text which diminishes love of God and or neighbor, e.g. by encouraging the dehumanization and othering of particular groups, should be rejected as an incorrect reading of the passage. So, what the love principle is basically, if you read a passage and it seems to make God not look so loving or not look so good in general, the various passages where God is like hurting the Israelites or hurting people in the Old Testament, if you read it as God is hurting these people, then that's the incorrect reading. You got to reject it. The only interpretation of the horrible passages in the Old Testament have to be ones that make God look very loving, kind, and good. So anytime you have, whoa, well, what about this one? This is a horrible one. It's like, no, not really, because it's got to make God look good. He just totally refuses to acknowledge how this sounds. You got something to say?
Maybe you should quit drinking all that beer.
I was just going to say, if anybody wants to read a decent book, I'm currently reading Dr. Josh Bowen's brand new book that came out today, The Atheist Handbook to the Old Testament, Volume 1. So, if you want to read a better book than this bullshit, I'd invest in Dr. Josh's book.
I agree. I've got Dr. Josh's book too. I also have Dr. Josh's hardcover version in my cart.
Oh, they're going to send us.
I'm still buying one.
Oh, okay.
Because like you told them, honey, they deserve money for it. But anyways, Dr. Josh's book is a much better book. My entire point in addressing all of this is that he bases his entire book off of these 5 principles. But what I see out of these 5 principles are just presupposing that God made it. That's for 1 and for 2. For 2, you have to understand how God means one thing while man may say another. So if it sounds bad, then you can just pick the divine one that's going to overrule the literal one that's on the page. And the divine one is just whatever kind of fucking bullshit you can make up in your own head, right? whether or not you've got some kind of theology degree or not, it's still just making up some kind of reason in your head. And then you come over here to the canon principle, which is really the cherry picking principle, the, oh, look at Jesus principle, that everything's got to be interpreted in the light of Jesus. And then the bullshit principle, which is just that you've got to interpret everything to make God look good and disregard everything that makes God look bad. I mean, it all really, if you think about it, boils down to cherry picking the Bible into making it look and sound like it's actually a good thing. We got Cadence, who did a super chat, saying, sounds like this guy just duped you into buying his BS book. I see nothing of quality. Yes, I agree. I don't see anything of quality, but he did put it together, and I want to look through it. He's already...
What are you doing?
I blew my load.
He's already taken the low road and claimed that I'm a self-described engineer, despite my 2 engineering degrees. So, I mean, I feel like it's not that I feel the need to do it. I just, for my own due diligence, I feel like I need to go through the book and see exactly how bullshit it is. So that's what I'm doing right now. It's called Jesus Loves the Canaanites. If you want to throw away $7. Eric Hamion says he's trying to prove that God loves the Canaanites by starting with the axiom that any other interpretation has to be rejected out of hand. How much can you beg the question? Exactly. But if you go look on Twitter on my timeline, or you just search for Randall Rouser on Twitter, he thoroughly denies that this is an accurate representation. I literally put the screenshots up there and told him what I thought about it. He's like, no, you're wrong because you're a self-described engineer or shit. Cadence thinks I should do a book review and tear it apart. I'll have to get with Drew's book reviews and see if he can guide me in doing a solid book review of it. But anyways, that's all for the openings and everything like that. Although we do have one more segment to get to. You know what segment that is, honey? Yeah! Shitty ass science! We're gonna answer some science shit really wrong. Oh, what's up there, heathens? How y'all doing? All right. Woo, doggy. Jesus. All right, so tonight we're talking about exorcisms, and I got tools here in order to explain how exorcisms work, okay? So, here's how the exorcisms work. I do appreciate Godless Engineer giving me this space on TEDx Hell in order to explain to you guys how demon possession works and how exorcisms work. Well, Hellbound Hillbilly says here's...
Maybe you should quit drinking all that beer, G.E.
Hellbound Hillbilly says, here's a better use for $7. Oh, I appreciate that. I'm going to get me some Gentleman Jack with that. Sorry, I got God's nut stuck in my face for that. Anyways, here's your most important tool, right? This is the cross of Jesus. All right, demons hate the cross of Jesus.
Donating
okay,
this much money
this
only
is just...
secures your seat in hell.
Okay, Jonathan, I get you want to go to hell. He says, I would like one first-class ticket when I can get to discount tickets for GE and KC too. They don't get discounts. They're gonna have to pay twice the wage to get in, okay? Because they're important motherfuckers to get into hell. All right, so here, the cross is very important to the exorcism. Now, I've already been over how demons possess things. They go up through the asshole and they infest you, okay? So just think about any time that your asshole is exposed to the open air, it could be a prime time for demons to get inside your bunghole. Now, how you get them out is a different thing. Now, do be a little cautious about this because it can cause some like diarrhea or dysentery or something like that, because as we all know, demons enter through the anus and they got to exit through the anus as well. Okay, so that may be the cause of it. Anyways, you got your cross here, okay? The cross creates an electromagnetic field from the top of it to the bottom of it. You know how Catholics do the, the head, the ankles, the grab my ass? What, I don't know what it, I'm not Catholic. Spectacles, testicles, watch, wallet. Spectacles, testicles, watch, and wallet. I'll get Father McFeely to come by and give us a demonstration later, I guess. But anyways, so you got your top and your bottom, right? And they coincide with the left and the right here. And that creates this force field on the front of it, okay? Now, this is the same thing for a book because it's got 4 sides. A book has 4 sides. If you've got a Bible, it creates the same kind of force field. Now, when you put this in front of a demon and Satan-possessed individual, whether that be Thor or Jezebel, I think Jezebel's the one that makes you strip and run through the quad naked. But you put it on them and it forces the demon out. It hurts the demon. It presses him against the...
Hey, I don't know if y'all know this, but every time you donate, the Lord cries.
Yeah, Lisa made God cry. Lisa says, does exorcism expel the Holy Spirit too? Nope, this does not work on the Holy Spirit. They got a whole special set of cases. It's like you got to specially plead for that particular individual. But, so that's why the cross works. All right, now the other important thing is to get your holy water. Okay, you got to dump your holy water in here, and you got to sprinkle it on them, and that really causes them to be very agitated by it. It's almost kind of like the aliens' blood in those aliens movies. It's very acidic to them, right? And so you just dip your fingers in, and then you, and it's like the acid. It's like acid blood from the aliens, except it only hurts the demons. It does not hurt the individual. Okay. All right, and so, huh?
Hand sanitizer, because you know what they say about holy water.
Thank you for the hand sanitizer. Oh, because it's full of shit. I got it. There we go. That's right, because it's full of shit. Okay, so right now what I'm going to do to everybody is I'm going to expel all of the Thors and all of the Carnages and the Venoms, all the MCU characters from everybody, okay? So we got to get our holy water here. Vamanos, nomenos, escabellata, some shit like get the fuck out. And then you get your thing like, the power of Jesus compels you. And now everybody on the other end's like this. And so now I just do this. The power of Jesus compels you. Repent, motherfucker. Get the fuck out of these people. The fuck out. I just noticed I kind of have a ghosty cross here. Anyways, get the fuck out of them right now. And then everybody's like, and then you sprinkle more holy water on them. Get this the fucketh outeth. And then boom, you're done. All of you are purged of all your demons. Well, maybe not your internal demons that like are just really, you know, various afflictions and everything. You still got those. I'm just talking about the ghosty ones. You know what? I will drink whatever fucking drink I want to, woman. 2 Timothy, what the fuck ever? Shut the fuck up now. I just said be quiet. I'm doing shit. Anyways, that's going to be it for me tonight. I hope you guys appreciated it. I know I did. I'm going to take this holy water. I'm going to go and I guess have a drink. I got to take my pills. Holy water just flushes the system out a little bit, okay? Anyways, I got to...
Listen, donating this much money only secures your seat in hell.
I'm going to let GE handle that. I will see you heathens later. Goodbye. Fuck. That didn't work. Hold on. Woo! All right. So, obviously exorcisms are bullshit. There's demons don't really possess people, although we do have a few resident demonesses and I guess demons in the house. None of them possess you and make you do crazy shit. That would be Jack Daniels. That's what possesses you and makes you do crazy shit. I haven't, but sometimes it happens. So anyways, you guys ready to get to the show? I know I'm ready to get to the show. All right, so Amethyst Stoner just subscribed. You called. Yes, Cadence, I said something. All right, so we're going to be going over Bob Larson and his Exorcism. And this is, he mentions an exorcism. We're going to watch part of an exorcism. But he's talking about Marvel and its new Venom movie that's going to be coming out this summer. In case you guys don't know, Venom is a character in the Marvel universe. And the way that I was exposed to Venom, just to go on a little bit of a memory trip here, I'll walk down memory lane. I was exposed to Venom by the Saturday morning cartoon of Spider-Man. And so basically Spider-Man, the symbiote came from space. The symbiote first bonded with Peter Parker, and then it bonded with Eddie Brock, and it gave Eddie Brock like superhuman abilities and as well as the Spider-Man abilities, because when the symbiote bonded with Spider-Man, it like the powers like copied or transferred or something like that. And so that's why Venom looks somewhat similar to Spider-Man, but different, and he's stronger and all this other things. He was also a villain first starting out. Now, in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, he's starting out as sort of an anti-hero type, with Eddie Brock only wanting to do good. That's a stone's throw from where I was first exposed to Venom, being that he is a villain. Come to find out that obviously Venom ends up working with Spider-Man in the comics and things and the rest of the Marvel universe. So, I mean, it's very, different, as far as comics versus the cinematic universe. We got I Heart Dogs.
Woo! Bear money!
I Heart Dogs went to hell for saying watch at 1 minute mark in the video when Larson hits a guy with his Bible. We're actually going to take a look at the rawest version of that particular exorcism that we can get our hands on, and I cannot stop laughing at it. Okay, we're going to watch that tonight. Then we got I Heart Dogs also said at 103 mark dishing or he whacks a guy. Oh, apparently he retracted that one. Oh, because it was kind of a duplicate, I guess. And I'm so sorry, iHeart. I was gonna get to you. But anyways, so that's just kind of like a little bit of a background.
We got a new member.
New member, Evan Mason. Welcome. So we're gonna go ahead and get started on the video. It's gonna be kind of loud at first. He's got some music, so I'm gonna be dancing a little bit here at the beginning, but he kind of gets into it rather quick. So let's just go ahead and jump right on into it. Freedom!
It's only May.
Oh, shit.
The release isn't until late September, and already the trailer is out there generating interest. And by the way, you're not going to watch this on HBO Max or Netflix, only in theaters.
Well, I mean, it will be on HBO Max. Like, it's not going to be on HBO Max initially or on Netflix initially. But you'll definitely be able to see it in theaters, but also like on Amazon's Prime Cinema. I'm sure that you'll eventually be able to watch it on there. I mean, movies are going from theater to like digital, being digitally served rather quick now, and that's because of the pandemic. And this was shot recently. This is a recent video from Bob, so it's not like the pandemic hasn't happened for him or anything like that. So it says only in theaters, but that's just initially like on opening day, it will be in theaters. If you want to go see it the very first day, you got to go to the theater kind of thing. But it will be on the streaming services eventually.
It's called Venom, the second of the series. Let there be carnage is the byline. I guess that's a heads up as to the intentions demonically of where this film has gone.
No, that's the byline because it's about the Carnage storyline. It's introducing Carnage as the villain. He's one of the most iconic villains of the Spider-Man, of the Marvel universe, especially of Spider-Man. So no, Let There Be Carnage is about the villain called Carnage. Although, I mean, I guess I shouldn't really expect him to understand the Marvel universe because he's an old Catholic exorcist guy who was probably very relevant in the 70s. Or when was the Satanic Panic going on? Was that the 70s? I can't remember if that was the 70s or the 60s. But anyways, I don't expect him to understand that, but it's the byline because of the villain. Not because it's just going to be all carnage and shit. Although there will be plenty of action in the movie and the film. But I'm guessing, I can't remember. I don't know if it's PG-13. Let's see. Venom 2 rating. It's probably still... Maybe it doesn't have a rating yet? Oh, apparently it lost its R rating? See, I'm checking IMDb. The initial Venom movie was rated PG-13, and it had very little blood in it, but it did have a lot of like action. See, I don't initially see any kind of rating for it. Yeah, I know it's not important. Anyways, my thing is though is that it's going to be fine.
These are the same people, by the way, the Marvel comic book universe people who brought you Thor and Loki as likable superhero characters, not the real demons that they are. These are real demons that I deal with every day from the Nordic pantheon.
Okay, so I did check with Ocean. If you guys don't know Ocean, he's a pretty good pagan. Ocean Keltoy. He's a really good pagan YouTube creator here on the platform. Definitely just plug his name into the search bar, Ocean Keltoy. You'll be able to find him. But I talked to him about this, and apparently this is a pretty common thing that he's run into is, describing Thor, Loki, and the Norse pantheon of gods as being demons. And I actually have that particular exorcism that he's referring to right here, and we're gonna watch it because I find it to be hilarious. Okay, if you guys haven't watched one of these videos, if you need a good laugh at something, just watch one of these exorcism videos because it's just so fucking ridiculous. Okay, here we go.
In the name of Jesus.
In the name of Jesus.
I break the curse.
I break the curse.
Of death.
Of death.
Of Mammon.
Of Mammon.
And Thor.
And Thor.
He just hits him with the Bible and he's like... Yeah, he just like forcefully touched him a little bit and he's like... And how these people talk as demons is just fucking hilarious.
Mammon's there and Jezebel's there, but Thor's doing the fighting. See what I'm going to do to you, Thor? Release that hand. Lift your hammer. Lift it. By the sword of the Spirit, I cut it.
what was that fucking squeal at the end? Was that no, because he's about to tell Thor to get up, and he gets up like there's nothing wrong with him, even though he just cut his arm off, right? But I like how Bob was like, lift your hammer, and the dude's like, okay, I'll lift my hammer. I'm Thor. Chris Hemsworth. And then he used his Bible as the sword of Jesus or God or something, and then sliced his arm off. How does that fucking work? Like, it was a sword, obviously.
Oh, get up, Thor! Oh, get up, Thor!
Yeah, you fucking.
Your power's gone.
Dumbass.
Your hammer's gone. Say aye, Thor.
Okay, hold on. Before he answers this, did you notice how he just got up like it was fucking normal? Like he was perfectly fucking fine as soon as he was told to get up. Dave Lee asked, which episode of Twilight was this? Wow.
Maybe you should quit drinking all that beer, GE.
I'm not sure, but it's probably the one with the sparkly vampires. I know. He's talking about Twilight, the TV show. At which episode of Twilight? Twilight being like the Twilight Zone? Oh. Maybe I'm wrong.
I, Thor! Bind myself! Bind myself! To Mammon! Mammon! To death! To death! And Jezebel! And Jezebel! And murder! And murder!
What?
Maybe you should quit drinking all that beer, GE.
So I feel like he's got a really weird sense about how demons talk. I Heart Dog says he hit the dude in his head. He's done worse things.
I speak for all of them. I speak for all of them. The curse of Nadia.
Well, he's supposed. So KC asked, "Why is he just repeating him?" And it's just because that's what he's instructed the guy to do. He's like, repeat after me, and so as the demon, he's repeating after him, which ends up not making sense here in a second, as you'll see. But it's just so funny how he's like this demon, right? That's supposed to be evil and make people do bad shit all the time and everything like that. Apparently, Bob has total control over the demon and is making the demon, in this case Thor, repeat directly after him.
The curse of Nadia. The curse of Nadia is lifted. Is lifted.
See, this is where Bob forgot his line. He needs to think about it for a second. I have to say that if the guy right here, the one that's supposedly possessed, ever wanted some kind of like Hollywood acting gig where he plays some kind of like D-list movie where he's like a zombie that talks, I think that he would be perfect for it.
On this man. On this man. Say it. You said the curse is lifted. Say, on this man. On this man. And future generations. And future generations. I have no more right. I have no more right. Right. And this man.
Jesus Christ, say it, don't spray it. Fucking hell.
To this man. To this man. Say it. To this man. I, Thor. I, Thor. With all my kingdom. With all my kingdom.
with all my kingdom
and all my kind.
For that particular part, though, with all my kingdom, he had to be like,
holy shit, we're gonna get a kegerator.
with that part, he's like, I gotta dig down deep into my gullet, and I just gotta pull this out. With my kingdom. iHeartDog says, read Larson's biography today. In the pandemic, Larson charged $295 for Skype exorcisms. Whew.
And all my kind.
and all my kind.
Receive.
Receive
the judgment. Say the judgment.
The judgment
of God.
Of God.
Will
go.
Now.
Now.
You all get ready to help me out. Say two.
That's all that you really need to see. Apparently, this is how you exorcise a demon. You look at them and you scream at them to repeat after you and just tell them to leave the body and that they don't have power over it anymore. And apparently, according to Bob Larson here, at least maybe Bob Larson's the one causing this, but according to Bob Larson, he has full control over that particular demon. What? It is very ridiculous, honey. I mean, I just can't imagine that people actually take this seriously. When I first watched the Thor Exorcism video today, I couldn't stop laughing. You can ask KC over there. I mean, I would just start like bursting out in laughter over here because I hear the guy go, demon, I relinquish this body. And what was that weird thing he pronounced? Generation. It was just very weird. But anyways, so that's the kind of exorcism that Bob Larson does. And I showed you that about 3-minute clip so that you guys could really grasp what he's talking about here when he says that he's exorcised demons like Thor. And by that, I guess that he means he cut off Thor's arm with the Bible and then just hit a guy with a cross for a little bit and had him repeat shit to him. Oh, yes. Thank you, honey. Thor's not a demon. He's what did we find out? A demigod? He's a demigod in the Norse mythology. So he's not a demon, but Catholics like Bob Larson describe him as a demon because they have to blame like bad shit that happens in reality on demons because they're the source of all things bad, apparently, according to Bob Larson here. I almost said Bob Ross.
Bob Ross.
I didn't insult him. I almost accidentally said it. iHeartDogs. Oh wait, I already read iHeartDogs. Thank you so much there, iHeartDogs. But all right, so let's get back to his main complaints against Venom and how it's demonic.
This next Venom movie is going to likely be an orgy of blood and gore and violence. Why not? Because the first one made $865 million, and this demonic dirge is likely to do the same or even more.
Listen, Catholic priest, I don't really think that you need to be shaming anybody for making a lot of money when you obviously work for the Catholic Church. Okay? That you guys just take in money constantly, and you did like the organization helps priests diddle little kids. They even have a special fund set aside to pay off victims as well as pay for lawyers' fees to defend your Catholic pedophiles and molesters and stuff. So I don't want to hear shit about a movie making money, but also the first Venom movie didn't really have a lot of blood and gore in it.
Woo! Bear money!
Thank you, Gary. Didn't have a lot of gore in it because it was PG-13. If it had any amount of gore in it, it would have been rated R.
Woo! Bear money.
Gary White says, what the blue hell is he doing? This guy, oh, by the way, he is the one that hit one in the crotch because he wanted the demon out of the person. That'll definitely make you go high pitched instead of that low, grumbly, fucking demony sound, I guess. Lisa Petru says he looks like Steve Anderson. He looks like Steve Anderson in about 30 or 40 years. But maybe. And if Steve Anderson was a Catholic. I would bet that Steve Anderson viciously hates Catholics, though. But in any case, I don't want to hear shit about the movie making money and how it's just going to be this horrible bloodbath, because it's not.
More.
What? Well, yeah. Well, yeah. So, thank you for pointing that out, Protoborg, and reminding me of that, Hun. So Venom is a symbiote, not a demon. But yeah, he's an alien. But he's gonna frame him as being a demon, like Thor and Loki. Thor and Loki also are not demons. Nobody's a demon in any of this, but he's framing them as being demonic. And that's primarily because of how like Carnage and Venom look. They look demony, but he's about to go into like the symbiotes and everything like that, and he's going to compare it to being possessed by a demon and all this other stuff, and he's going to make it out to be like it's this grand, demonic message.
A lot of very sadistic jokes, but this is no joke. He's going to unleash a lot of very sadistic jokes, but this is no joke, folks. It's lethal. It's spiritually lethal. And I'm here to warn all you MCU folks out there.
All you fucking MCU folks with your Spider-Mans and your Venoms and Carnages and everything. God damn it, you're worshiping Thor's dick all the time. Holy fuck. Fuck Chris Hemsworth. He's apparently warning us of the MCU. I don't know why, other than he thinks that it's going to kill our spirits. I don't know what in the fuck that means. Which, by the way, Sean Mc... Is it McDowell? McDermott? He's an evangelist? He's dressed like a Catholic. I thought only Catholics did exorcisms. Yeah, Sean McDowell. Sean McDowell, who's a Christian evangelist, or apologist rather. Well, I was going to point out how Sean McDowell is an apologist, and he's also an MCU fan. So it's I mean, this is definitely sort of like a fringe idea. Maybe I just assumed he was Catholic by the way that he's like dressed and shit, and the fact that he does exorcisms.
I mean, exorcism. Yeah,
Oh, he's a Protestant exorcist. You know, this is so weird because like I didn't think that anybody but the Catholics like believed in like exorcisms and shit. I thought that was like a purely Catholic. I've only ever seen that referenced as like a Catholic thing. That's totally my bad. I'm sorry, Catholics. Yeah. I mean, it's definitely not common. Yeah, he has. Anyways, wow, that's news to me. I just assumed that he was Catholic just by the way he's dressed and the exorcisms and shit. I don't know. Anyways, that's my bad. Venom ain't the MCU? Well, okay, so Quentin brings up a very good point, Venom being in the MCU. So there has been some, especially in Venom Two, there's some hints at the Daily Planet in there. Not Daily Planet, fuck me. The Daily Bugle. The Daily Bugle, there's a hint of the Daily Bugle in there. And I think that there's been some talk in the future to work them into the MCU. They're not officially in the MCU yet as far as like referencing things that have happened like in the other parts of the MCU, but in any case, it's still like a Marvel product. And so he's lumping in all of the Marvel products, right?
Out there. Now, for the people who miss the first Venom movie, it's all about these mutant beings from some kind of parallel or extraterrestrial universe who come to Earth. They are fanged serpent beings.
They're not serpents. They're not mutants. They're just alien beings that were, I guess, collected when this one mission in space, at least according to the movie that he's referencing, was collected by the astronaut. It's J. Jonah Jameson's kid. I can't remember what his name is. His last name's Jameson. But anyways, traditionally it was collected by J. Jonah Jameson's kid when he was on some kind of space adventure. Anyways, he comes back to Earth. One symbiote escapes, and that would be the main villain of the movie. Crap, I can't remember. Is it Riot? I think it was Riot that was the initial villain in the Venom movie. But yeah, so not mutants, they're aliens, they're symbiotes. Not from a parallel universe.
These vipers, very Leviathan-like, take on human bodies because they need oxygen to survive, and they suck that out of the human beings. They're hosts on Earth, and there's this hero, Eddie Brock. Oh, he's going to save the world, but meanwhile, Venom merges with him, becomes...
Well, no, I mean, like, Eddie's not looking to save the world. I mean, in all honesty, he's looking to save his own career. Eddie, like, at no point is it, I'm going to save the world. I guess maybe at the very end, it's like, oh, we got to stop this guy or else, he's going to bring back all of his friends and destroy everything. I guess at that point, it would be about saving the world, but he's kind of making it out to be like the entire movie is about Eddie Brock, like trying to save the world. And really he's trying to save his career because he destroyed his career. And then, he gets, he bonds with the symbiote. And I mean, he's just trying to deal with that. And it's not until after that he really gets his career back on track. So, I mean, it's never really been about saving the world or anything like that.
His symbiote and other symbiotes possess other people from Malaysia to San Francisco.
Well, no. Not other symbiotes infect other people other than in the labs. They're, it's just the one symbiote, which is, I believe, Riot. He infects multiple people because, you have to bond with somebody, and if you don't bond perfectly or whatever, something goes right. But also, the symbiotes actively start consuming the host if they don't get fed quick enough. And so that's another thing. So, I mean, basically the symbiote was hitching a ride because they can't survive in our atmosphere, not necessarily because they, didn't have oxygen or something like that. They couldn't survive in our atmosphere, so they had to have the host body to process the atmosphere and be able to allow them to live and everything. So, I mean, it was just one symbiote that was hitching rides from Malaysia.
In the end, in the first one, Venom decides he's going to help save Earth from his kind. Well, there's a switch. Get that? That's the same lie of Satanism, voodoo, and black magic, doing evil to get good.
What? Doing evil? Like, how is that the same thing as, like, black magic? Also, black magic's not real. Venom's not real. I feel like he's trying to draw a comparison here to, like, popular media and the black magic occult society or something like that. I don't know. I feel like the satanic panic is really bleeding through in this video.
By the way, that's the lie of the first snake, the first venom serpent in the Garden of Eden. No Christian.
What? Wait. Yeah, so one, Venom's not a snake. Two, not even Satan was a snake. He was just a not reptile. Serpent. He was a serpent. But I mean, even then, that wasn't necessarily like Satan. Like it never directly says Satan in the Genesis account. So I mean, but well, he's trying to draw a parallel between Venom and Satan in the Bible and in Christian theology as being, you know, the snake or whatever. But I mean, it seems very odd that he would frame it as like that being the first lie that Satan told. Like, I don't think that was the first, like the first, or the lie that, quote unquote lie that Satan told to Eve was, you know, he's like, you're not gonna die. Which she didn't die, so he really wasn't lying. It's not like she ate the fruit and then she immediately died. It, you know, there was a whole like very weird situation going on with the fruit and what God said. But basically, the snake wanted the humans to gain knowledge, and that was the problem in Genesis. It wasn't like him lying about saving the world or something like that, or doing good to save, or doing bad to save the good or something. Like, I don't understand that. Like, that doesn't make sense.
No Christian should take part in viewing movies like this for entertainment. And by the way, spare me any allegorical assumptions that somehow Earth is going to be rescued by a Christ-like figure like Brock from the evil serpent. No way.
No, I don't. I don't know why. Like, I don't know why this movie has to have any wider implications other than it's just a movie made for entertainment. I don't understand why he has to think, like, why is a Christian going to see this movie going to hurt them spiritually? I mean, this is just a story that's told for entertainment. That's it. That's all. Like, there's no wider purpose for this movie other than entertainment purposes. It literally has no bearing on Jesus or anybody's faith or anything like that. See, this is fear-mongering at its purest. Because, I say at its purest because there's literally no connection between the Venom movie and your faith, but he's using the Venom movie to scare Christians from watching it. I don't know, maybe he's hoping people will pay him for his demon exorcisms instead of seeing the movie.
Films and the Marvel comic book universe are all devoid of any God of transcendency. There's no moral code, no absolute truth in these films. I know they're just movies.
Do you? Because you're trying to make them out to be this much grander thing than they actually are. I don't think that you actually understand that they're just movies.
They're just movies. But they speak to the consciousness of man about the spiritual zeitgeist of our age. Venom produces fear and terror and a lot of in-house sadistic humor.
A lot of sadistic humor? I mean, honestly, the humor in Venom was actually really tame. If you want to see some sadistic humor, I could give you a list of movies that have sadistic humor in them. But my guess is that you can't stomach them because you think that a superhero movie is going to somehow taint your faith or destroy your faith.
The Marvel comic book universe is a portal to demonic possession.
the Marvel Universe is a portal to demonic possession. Can you just imagine it? Everybody close your eyes and just imagine with me, right? You're sitting there in your lazy boy. You're reading the newest comic book, what the fuck ever. Let's just say that it's Spider-Man. You're reading it, and then all of a sudden you feel something cram up your asshole, and all of a sudden you're like demonically possessed because you were reading a comic book. Like, how fucking ridiculous can you be? Apparently, this level of Bob Larson ridiculous is what's needed here.
Demons are real. Don't allow yourself to be indoctrinated with these demonic ideas of MCU.
What demonic ideas? Like, in the MCU, what demonic ideas are there? What would a demonic idea be? Did you guys know that quite possibly knowing shit that's not God shit is a good thing? Like, I don't see that as being... You know what this guy should watch? This guy should watch the show, because I know he's not going to read the graphic novel, but he should watch Preacher. I bet you he would lose his shit over Preacher, because Preacher has demons in it. It's got possession. It's got everything that he loves in that show. Apparently, according to KC,
woo, bear money.
If this guy watches the show Preacher, the show's gonna have to pay him $3.95 in order to get an exorcism. I Heard Dog says, when I was a kid, the portal was a Ouija board, then rock music. Oh, I'm sure that the Ouija board and the rock music, even now, is a portal to shit. And then you've also got all of the other music that comes beyond that. I mean, if it's not music that sucks Jesus' dick, then it's gonna be a portal to hell. All right? And obviously, if you're watching some kind of superhero movie that doesn't centrally rely on Jesus...
2 Timothy, what the fuck ever, shut the fuck up.
Then you're obviously gonna get sucked into a demon portal to hell. Oh, your soul or something, I don't fucking know. Quentin Van Boeven says, now wait just a minute, I thought the portal to hell was metal music.
Maybe you should quit drinking all that beer, GE.
Asexual atheist says, and then the barcodes on
we
products.
got a new member.
Welcome there, Hackett. Appreciate you becoming a mafioso.
Of MCU. A universe with no existential ethics and no objective reality.
Wait, what? Why does it have to have objective reality? Plus, okay, for one thing, this is a made-up universe. Like, somebody has constructed. Why would you expect any kind of, like, objective reality in it? Nobody reads a comic book to just read the same shit that they can get in the newspaper. Like, nobody is reading comic books for that. We read comic books for the imagination of it. But apparently imagination is just way too much for you. But to say that there's no ethics in it, there's always ethical dilemmas in comic books. They always, do this really cool analysis of ethical decisions and how those ethical decisions, affect other things in that character's own life. So, I mean...
2 Timothy, what the fuck ever, shut the fuck up.
Thanks, Jane. But to say that it's lacking in morals or lacking in ethics and all this other stuff, it just goes to show that you don't know the Marvel Universe whatsoever. Jane Pusucker says, this guy needs to watch The Vicar of Dibley. He would lose his mind because it's about a female preacher in the UK. Obviously, she's possessed by the devil if she thinks she could teach men how to do shit for God.
The demons that I cast out are very real. They are not make-believe. They are no joke.
mean, are you trying to tell yourself this, or like what's going on here? Because I feel like you're just trying to reinforce to yourself that they're just not make believe. We got Bebop Boobop.
To Timothy, what the fuck ever? Shut the fuck up.
They say, so I guess we gotta throw the whole imaginary space away. Yep, we do. Just toss it right the fuck out.
Believe they are no joke. Their ferociousness excels any imagery ever on film. What they're really creating, their MCU, is not just a Marvel comic book universe, but a maniacal, Christless universe.
What? I don't know if he knows this, but this, hold on. This star-spangled fuck right here, he's a Christian. Like, legit. Even though he's met a couple of other gods in the Marvel universe, he's a Christian. Okay? He famously says that in the first Avengers movie. He's in the plane and he's about to jump out, and Black Widow's up there like, "Hey Cap, you might want to sit this one out. They are literal gods." And then Cap's like, "I only know of one god, and I'm sure he doesn't look like that." And then he fucking jumps out with his fucking parachute and shit because he's star-spangled awesome and shit. So, I mean, they're not creating a Christless universe. It's just that in these movies, religion just doesn't matter. But also, more to the point, Venom's not in the MCU just yet. MCU contains like everybody. While Spider-Man is in the MCU, they haven't made a deal for Venom to be placed inside it, but they might be leading up to that with this new Venom 2 movie, because they do show a shot of the paper, the Daily Bugle, and so they might be trying to lead into that or something like that. Who knows? But in any case, I don't understand how it's a maniacal, Christless universe. Like, not everything has to revolve around Christ. But according to some Christians out there, everything, absolutely everything, has to revolve around Christ. And I just don't understand that.
And the world this is bringing about is far worse than any coming carnage of Venom.
Okay, sorry, that's just his end cards and everything, like right there. Like, what kind of effect is Venom gonna have on anybody? I mean, I'm fairly certain that if Sean McDowell, who's an apologist that I was mentioning earlier, I'm fairly certain that he hasn't been corrupted at all by any of this. And I'm sure that there's plenty of other Christian ministers, priests, and pastors and apologists out there that thoroughly enjoy the Marvel Universe for what it's supposed to be. And that's entertainment. Like, it really has no other significance other than just entertainment. Fuck yeah, Charles, subscribe, motherfucker. I mean, I guess he already did that. So, all right. Well, that's going to be it for tonight. I hope that you guys had a lovely time tonight. We're just over an hour in, and we're about to get to the Skeptic Mafia comments. Which, if you guys don't know, here on the channel we got the Skeptic Mafia, which is the memberships that we have here on the channel. A portion of the memberships of the super chats that we've gotten tonight. And any of the revenue that we generate here, we end up donating a portion of it to to a charity. And this month it's going to be Recovering from Religion. So everybody that did super chats or that joined the Skeptic Mafia tonight, I really appreciate you guys pitching in a little bit of money so that we can do some good in this world, because we're just shitty, fucking demon-y possessed goddamn people that we're going to donate money to a charity. So we're going to get into the Skeptic Mafia comments. And if you're going to be leaving out right now, I really appreciate you guys stopping by to watch and everything like that. If you will, leave a comment either on the video or in the live chat right now with what you think about this crazy shit from Bob Larson, who's not a Catholic, by the way. Just to get that out there, not a Catholic, but still a dipshit that does exorcism. So these are not official exorcisms. If you pay to get an exorcism from him, remember, this is not an official one. You are still infested with venom in your ass. Okay? As if, like, you know, demons are actually infesting anyone. All right. But anyways, if you're going to be leaving out, I really appreciate you guys. I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and I guess I will see you guys on Monday. See you heathens on Monday. Don't forget to stand up and use your voice. Bye, heathens. But don't go, because we get Skeptic Mafia comments. Which, honey, do you think you can go through and see if there's any that's been held for review? Thank you. Let me get all this set up real quick. Okay. There we go. Huh? Okay. All right, got it. All right, so first up, we've got Quentin Van Boeven. So any super chats that are done while I'm reading comments, I will get as soon as I get done after reading the comments. So if you still want to do a super chat or whatever, please do. I'll get to them right after I get these comments done with. Quentin Van Boeven says, no time to preview, so just gonna chill. Make sure you hit that like, share, and sub button to really help out GE, and it's free. It's a no-lose situation for you. 1, the AI Overlord will promote GE's channel more, and 2, it lets him know you enjoy the content, so he'll make more. If you can consider the Skeptic Mafia, it gives some sweet perks like emojis and the ability to make comments
just
like
a
this.
little bit of money.
Where GE will say damn near anything you say. Speaking of, hey GE, would you rather index at 1 or admit Star Trek is better than Star Wars? Now that's my time. Out of the 2, I would probably have to go with indexing at 1. Bet you that caught you off guard. No, Star Trek is a good show. Star Trek's a good show. Michael W. Roble says that Larson became an exorcist when his regular evangelical radio grift wasn't paying off like it used to. He won't present any actual credentials, and he won't say who ordained him. He will meet with you in person in his office in Arizona for 50 minutes for the low price of only $595. Or you can meet online for only $395. Apparently, he is willing to do Skype exorcisms, but not on Twitter. That would be ridiculous. I believe the real question is, are Bob's followers moronic? And no, I will not take it easy on them. If you and I and the rest of the Skeptic Mafia can wise up enough to see through the bullshit, so can they. Yeah, it's hard. It's really hard for me not to laugh and sort of make fun of the people that go through the whole exorcism thing with Bob Larson. It's so obviously fake. It's ridiculous. The Ruined Warrior says he's either a liar or he's a fucking idiot. Probably a bit of both. The Venom franchise is not part of the MCU. Kevin Feige has nothing to do with those movies. They are under license to Sony. Disney has no creative direction with it, so it has nothing to do with Thor or Loki. This is some simple shit, and he couldn't get it right. I hope his parishioners catch these glaring mistakes and think about the rest of this critically. I really don't think the people that go to Bob Larson are critically thinking about the shit that he's saying. but also I don't think that they're watching any of the MCU or of the Sony like Spider-Man universe or anything like that. I don't think that they're doing that. I Heart Dog says, "Oh my God! At 101, this dipshit clocks a guy on the side of the head with a Bible. Who's creating carnage? Bob Larson is a guy I'm familiar with from decades ago. I don't remember him being an exorcist." Yeah, so he turned into an exorcist when his evangelical job, I guess, wasn't doing so well. Then we got Jonathan Nickel, who says, "My main issue with Venom is that this movie has rewritten the character and the story. They kept the figure of Eddie Brock, who merges with the Venom symbiote, but he is far more likable as a person and not the antagonistic prick he was in the comics." Yeah, that's another thing that I didn't really take issue with, but it was kind of a problem, I guess you could say, because that's how I was introduced to Eddie Brock too. I started looking into more of the story surrounding Venom, and apparently, eventually, Venom and Spider-Man, they worked together in order to take out Carnage and stuff like that. So I think that they were really going for a more anti-hero type, and so in order to make him like the protagonist of the film, he had to be somewhat likable. So I don't know if at some point, like, he's just going to be like bad or something, or if there's going to be some kind of like maybe Superman versus Batman type of like struggle against one another. I don't know how they might work that in, or if they're even going to go that route at all with the Venom series, but we'll just have to see. There is also no mention of Spider-Man in the first movie, and Venom was originally one of the villains in the Spider-Man story. I still found it to be a hugely enjoyable film, potentially franchise in its own right. The use of the tagline, "Let there be carnage," is very apt, as Carnage is the big bad of the sequel. As for Thor and Loki, they weren't demonic. They were just gods from an earlier pantheon. The Vikings viewed Thor as a great warrior and protector, whereas Loki was the god of mischief. Though not as quite as antagonistic as the Marvel movies portrayed him, I would not call either of them demonic, but I can see how a fundamentalist Christian might view any god other than their own as evil. Well, specifically demons that infest people and they cause them to do bad shit, I guess. The MCU has a moral code? This guy can't ever have read a comic book before. It's fairly quickly established who the good and bad guys are. As for the cause, I would say a group of people coming together to save the Earth from a tyrant or invading enemy is a worthy goal. No transcendent god figure required. No, demons aren't real, and this man is a fraud. In the movie, Venom hated being called a parasite. I wouldn't hesitate in calling Bob Larson a parasite. People who claim to cast out demons and preying on the fears and the ignorance of their audience and lining their own wallets in the process.
Maybe you should quit drinking all that beer, G.E.
Don't allow yourself to be indoctrinated, says the guy trying to indoctrinate his audience. Enjoy the movie, folks. Don't pay attention to this deceiver with the dog collar. Drew's book review says demons are marvelous. That's all. I'm going back to my book now. Okay, thank you, Drew. Urban Imposter says, no! As a demon representative, you cannot get a demon by watching a movie. But as a demon, I can confirm that Cupcake has an inflatable banana in his backyard that he has named Dr. Peel. Yep, Matt, yep, that's exactly true. I know that for a fact that Matt Powell has an inflatable banana in his backyard. Trickster! We don't want you to see these stories that are so full of death and destruction. Humans having to survive as beings from beyond our reality tried to destroy us. They come using fire and water and even our own dreams against us. Wait, you thought I was talking about the MCU and Venom? No, I was talking about the Bible. No one should read that stuff. So much death and destruction and hatred towards those that are not like you. Like, subscribe, and share, and if you got a couple of bucks hanging around, come join us in the Skeptic Mafia. It's always a blast. I know, and I've actually been really, really good about getting the Skeptic Mafia podcast to you guys, so I'm going to keep it up. Zach Clark says, is Venom demonic? Well, obviously. Otherwise, what would there be to enjoy about it? Shit. Yeah, just needed a drink, and the my little coaster decided to come with it. Command Cyborg says, ooh, boy, howdy. 1. Perhaps the subtitle of Venom 2 is referring to the symbiotic Marvel villain known as Carnage. Right. 2. Fucking spoiler alert, knobhead. I haven't seen Venom 1 yet. Not that I think you saw it. I have a feeling you got a bunch of the spoilers wrong. 3. I'm pretty sure the ridiculous amount of demons you've been casting out is even less actual than the MCU. By the way, I believe you got the acronym wrong. I could go on, but I won't. Smash all the buttons, lick the bells and whistles, but only after carefully sanitizing your device. And then shill. We got a Discord channel that you guys can get in. And then there's also, what else do we got? The emojis. We recently put up the robot Satan emoji, which people have been using during the stream because demon reasons. And then there's a whole bunch of things. The podcast. Oh, you get to pick the video that we watch on Friday nights. This was picked by the Skeptic Mafia, so if you want to blame anybody, blame them. Just threw the entire Skeptic Mafia under the bus, didn't I? Grifter's Deuce says Bob Larson has a striking resemblance to Venom. I think it's the skin texture that really seals it. He should try out if they ever have a Venom on Broadway show. He'd be a shoe-in. And then we got Jonathan Hanachak, who says, well, that should be a nice dumpster fire, and make sure to bring the marshmallows. Special shout out to KC, Miss Caitlin Chloe, for helping keep GE straight on the Bible podcast. One of these days you need to get your revenge on him and yawn him into submission. She does that like almost on a daily basis. Please put in an extra special GE Mafioso shout out. Maybe one of these days you could do one of those thank you videos again, because I want to thank you for all this great content. And I'm also wanting to thank both of you for all this great content and hard work that you put into all of the channel itself. If you feel the same in the comments, please put a heart or multiple emojis. Thank you, Jonathan. That's really awesome of you to say. Charisma the Derp Squirrel says, okay, so this time I actually got to watch the video, and holy shit, this guy is off his rocker. For one, Thor is not a fucking demon. 2, Venom is an alien symbiote, not a fucking demon. Sure, they look otherworldly, but that's the whole goddamn point. Also, jackass, demons aren't fucking real! They're all fucking fairy tales. Ugh. Christians are just fucking idiots. Well, not all, but some. At least fundies like this are. Anyway, I'm done with this fucker. Let's get on with the ASCII, shall we? Deal with it. Thank you, Charisma. And while he's dealing with the butthurt he's about to receive, why don't you go ahead and lick that like button? Or, better yet, lick the entire screen of your phone after you sanitize it. But don't do that. I'm being told by the lawyers you don't need to do that. You know you want to. Succumb to peer pressure, damn it. Oh, and while you're doing that, go ahead and join the Skeptic Mafia. Perks. You have perks like all the emoticons. The ability to make John say whatever you want him to. Like, oh, I don't know. The Orville's the best Star Trek series ever created. Anyway, thanks for listening to me ramble on. Take it away, John! So, in case you couldn't tell, as part of the Skeptic Mafia, you also get to leave a comment about the video that we review, which is what we're going over now. Clyde950 says, well, that was something. It definitely was something there, Clyde. Well, mafiosos and everybody else, I hope that you guys enjoyed it. I know I had a couple of super chats. Cadence just did a general super chat. Appreciate it, Kate. Zeblik says Sony Pictures universe of Marvel isn't MCU. They are all not in the same universe. He is dumb on multiple levels. Yep, that's completely true there, Zeb. I appreciate you, man. Christopher says, when's the hangout this month? You know, I mean, considering this month ends on the 31st, I think that what we're going to have to... Huh? Oh, late Sunday afternoon? I guess we could do late Sunday afternoon. Do you guys have anything going on late Sunday afternoon, Skeptic Mafia? I will put the question in the community tab right after the show tonight, so be on the lookout for that. 4-ish Central, honey? Okay. 4-ish Central on Sunday is when we're probably going to do the Mafia hangout. I hope that works for everybody. I know that that's going to work for us. But anyways, that's going to be it for the video and the show tonight. If you got any quick questions, I know, let's see. Chrismer, the Hangout, Cadence says, I just sent $1 to be annoying. Oh, come on, Cadence, you're never annoying. Vanta says it should work. Cernian says, thank you, GEKC in the chat. Johnny the Insatiable Void says, you still want to play FC New Dawn with me, GE? You never hit me up on Discord. Oh, that's Pancakes. So sorry there, Pancakes. It's been really hard for me to find some time, but I know that I have you on Discord, so I'll definitely try to look you up here soon. Maybe we can play Monday or something like that, because I've got Monday off. Kayla and Jim Bryant says Bob Larson looks at QAnon and thinks I can make twice as much as I did from the morons in the 80s. Let's see. A Mist Wing Production says Thor is OG Jesus from the North. He definitely, he kind of looks like it, doesn't he? Cernian said, I like Fat Thor in games. You know, to be quite honest, I really identified very much with Fat Thor. Especially since I've been, lifting weights and shit. I feel like I really identify with Fat Thor. Jonathan Handshake says, hopefully you were all doing great out there. Thank you so much there, Jonathan. I appreciate it.
Listen, donating this much money only secures your seat in hell.
Yeah, I appreciate everybody joining up tonight. If you guys will, please smash that like button before we head on out. I'd really appreciate it if you did that. And we'll see you guys on Monday. We're going to be talking about why you should trust the Bible. And then I think on Wednesday, we're going to be taking a look at a Muslim that supposedly is going to conquer atheism. So I can't wait to see him conquer that sumbitch. And I guess we'll see you heathens next week. Don't forget to stand up and use your voice. Bye, heathens.